Okay, guys, I wanted to create a really quick video just to show you. I know on your calculators, I've already showed you a couple of key things like the parentheses, the exponent buttons, the negative key, how to clear the memory and delete things as well. Hopefully, you're starting to become a little bit more familiar with those. But in lesson 5.4, you are going to have some questions where you're distributing with fractions. I'm not going to introduce mixed numbers at this point. I might mention them, but I really just want to show you how to do basic fractions on your calculator. So I'm going to show you the same types of calculators as before, plus one more that's similar to another one, and just show you the fraction key. So if you have a calculator like this, which is the ones we have in the classroom, right here, the yellow circle represents your fraction key. So it's an ABC key. So if I say ABC key, that's your fraction key. If I want to put something in, like I know one of your questions for lesson two, or not two, 5.4, has the fraction 2/3 in it. It's not the best way to type it, but if I'm trying to put that in the calculator, I'm going to put 2 and then hit ABC and then 3. You will sometimes see, depending, like, and we'll see this with the fractions, you'll see almost like a little U shape sometimes, or maybe like a backwards L to represent the fraction. So you'll see something that kind of looks like this. I think it's a backwards L. Of course, I don't have my calculator right next to me right now, but you'll plug in the 2. You'll hit the fraction key, the ABC key, and it'll give you like this backwards L, or maybe it's a regular L. It's hard to remember at this point, and then a 3. That's just representing 2/3 for you. And then you just do whatever you need to do with that. So if you're doing 2/3 times 15, you'll do 2, hit the ABC key, 3, and it might look something weird like this, and then multiply by 15. But it'll work for you. So that's your fraction key. When you go to do mixed numbers, eventually you'll see like a U, so it'll be like 2U, 3, and then it'll be like slash 4. And again, we'll get a chance to see that. Your calculators, it's amazing that they haven't really come much further since I was a student, maybe a little bit, but they still have kind of those weird symbols and weird ways of showing fractions. That's the key you want to use for fractions. And again, if you're just putting in 2/3, to ABC3. One question I get from students a lot is, how do I simplify fractions? Your calculator should automatically do it for you when you hit equals, but let's say you put in your calculator um, 8 over 12, which simplifies to 2/3. If you do 8 ABC 12 and hit equals, it should simplify it to 2/3 for you. And I believe it does show up like this, like 2/3. But you'll get used to seeing the strange things your calculator does. All right, next type of calculators are these two guys, which are also Texas Instruments calculators. They don't have an ABC key. Oops, I got a rogue oval down there. What you have here is the N over D key, and next to it, at least on this calculator, and above it on this calculator, is the one we use for mixed numbers. You kind of have to play around with this because depending on the mode your calculator is in could change the way this looks. Some it'll have like a box over a box, so you'll see like a square on the top and a square on the bottom. Ugh. And then you'll see a bar between them just to represent your fraction. And don't forget, you can toggle around using these arrows on your calculator. It's just like a game console, so treat it kind of the same, to move from the top to the bottom and so forth. Right now, again, you're not working with mixed numbers. It's a little bit more complicated with mixed numbers because you have to hit, at least on this calculator, the second key and then this one, and you get 3 boxes. So it'll pop up with a box in front, and you'll just kind of fill in all of those boxes. Same thing with this one. But again, if your calculator gets put in a different mode, it may actually look more like this calculator where you'll see like a slash or a backwards L or something like that. So that's something for you to kind of play around with. And then if you need help, it's something that we can look at in the classroom. And I've also stressed to students, like if you need to set up a Zoom call and we can look at calculators that way. One of the things that we can also do is if you send me a picture of your calculator, I can help you. It is easiest in the classroom though. All right, the next two types, I added this one on the right because I saw a student who had this calculator on the right here, but it's very similar to this one. This has an ABC key. It's down in the bottom left-hand corner next to the 1 key. And again, if you're trying to put in 2/3, you hit 2, ABC 3, and that will give you your fraction. Again, you might see some weird symbols, but you basically treat it, the exact same way as our first calculator. Okay, this one. So again, that ABC key is next to the 1 key. Finally, this guy, I got random like rogue things behind here. Let me delete the negative key. That happens sometimes. So the fraction key on this one, it's a little bit more like that second Texas Instruments calculator with the boxes. For this one, what you'll want to do is hit this button and again toggle around with these boxes to put your numbers in the top and the bottom. So you can hit this button for 2/3 and then insert the 2 and then go down to insert the 3. The one thing you'll probably want to make sure you do though is hit this right arrow at the end so that when you hit like times 15, for example, it won't be just multiplying your denominator by 15. So again, if I'm putting in, let's say I want to figure out 2/3 times 15, I'm just going to type it like that. It's the easiest way to type it in. I'll hit this button. I'll put my 2 in. I'll scroll down to put the 3 in. I'm going to hit the right arrow, and then I'm going to do times 15. If I try to put this in, do 2, go down, put in a 3, and immediately hit times 15, it's probably just going to multiply 3 by 15, which is not what we want. So look on your screen. What I really like about this calculator, any of the ones they call them a lot of times multi-view, which would be this guy back here as well, like these two. I like that you can actually see what you're typing in as you do it, and you can go back and actually scroll back to previous calculations as well. So again, that's your fraction key. Your mixed number key is actually right above it, so you'd have to hit shift and then this key to get the mixed numbers in, but we'll eventually get to that. Right now, I just wanted to do a really quick introduction of where your fraction key was, since you're going to need it in the next lesson. Thanks for listening.